Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays The Binding of Isaac. That's just, it's telling you not to use your steering wheel to play Isaac, which is, I don't know, dude, maybe we'd have better results. Obviously, you might be surprised. I'm not super 1AG DQ, DBR8. I'm not super, you know, annoyed, frustrated, etc., etc. The last run ended up being so bad. You know, you have to look at it through a couple of different spectrums, you know? We did compromise our ability to get deals with the devil via poor play. However, that poor play, we got caught in the vicious cycle, you know? First deal with the devil sucked. Didn't have adequate DPS to accomplish much when we went down to the future floors. You know, as a result, we're doing more dangerous techniques. You get caught in the quicksand. Lose future attempts at deals with the devil. You know, you're not getting anything out of your item rooms. It's just it's a disaster. Come back, you know, we were only on a streak of 1. It's been a pretty embarrassing sort of month for Isaac. But I just, what I think is that I used all of my powerful gamer energy to beat Ascension 20 on Slay the Spire. Now, you might think that it's not worth it. Now, it seems not worth it. Because you're for 1 measly or 3 measly Spire wins, you gave up your Isaac mojo for a month. If you had asked me prior to the 820 wins, hey, would you give up your Isaac mojo for a month in order to finally complete something you've been trying to do for 6 months? The hardest video game related task I've probably ever completed? The answer to that question is absolutely. So let's just assume that, like, you know, the Space Jam... No, that's not really how it works. We can't use the Space Jam metaphor, though I love it. Let's assume it was like a Cameron Diaz, you know, James Marsden in the 2009 movie The Box sort of situation. You know, if you press the button, you get $1 million with someone you don't know will die. It's like that. I pressed the button. I lost some Isaac mojo. But I finally accomplished my goal of winning A20 Slay the Spire. And driving decently in F1 2019 with the wheel, I might add. Anyway. I've been saying this, if you enjoy the last couple of videos, thank Niantic. No longer do you need to thank Niantic. Niantic, they popped an Armored Mewtwo raid down close enough to us, so we went and got it, had a great time. If you like this video, thank Dan Giesling. Lo and behold, and it's a common refrain. If it was not uncommon, or if it was not common, I should say, I wouldn't even bring it up because it's putting my mans on blast. 11 a.m. on Thursdays, we always record. Tuesday, I say, hey, we good for Thursday? He says, yeah. Wednesday, he says, hey, we good for tomorrow? I say, yeah. Lo and behold, I'm not sitting here with my hand up my you-know-what at 11:15. You know what that means. Yeah. I don't care if you're gonna be late. I would just, you know, an indicator of your lateness would be nice. So I've, you know, taken it upon myself to record an Isaac episode instead. I'm not putting my good friend Daniel on blast. I want to be clear. I mean, I'm putting him on blast, obviously. But, you know, I'm not saying he has no excuse. That's the first bad thing that happened to us in this run. And it was because we were being negative to a friend of ours. You can't convince me otherwise. He's a busy man. You know, out of all the NLSS... you know, adjacent individuals. I feel weird calling people NLSS adjacent. Not because, you know, they're not part of the NLSS, but rather because, you know, they're their own human beings with their own identities and work and channels and etc., etc. But, you know, for convenience's sake, call them NLSS, you know, adjacent. Dan probably has the most reason to be late, in my opinion, you know? He's busy. He's got another job. He's got his own streams, a YouTube channel. He's got 2 children. You know, he's got a lot of reason to be late. But you can still send a text. That's all I'm saying. Well, maybe he can't send a text because I told him to delete my phone number, but I know he didn't, so don't try to make me feel bad about that one. It's alright. It's just, if anything, it's more time to record a little bit of Isaac, which, I don't know if I'd say I'm behind on, but, you know, anytime you got a little, extra time throughout the week to be able to fit in a couple Isaac episodes is nice. And like I said, I don't really, you know, I have become, let's say, late adjacent. My wife is a late person. She's getting a lot better about it. But she is, she's a naturally late person. I'm used to lateness. I understand. All I can say, and it's one of a common conversational topic for me, is late versus early. You should always endeavor to be early. You don't have to be, you know, half an hour early. That's bad. It's a waste of your time, and it makes the other person feel imposed upon. But you should always, like, you know, leave yourself a 10-minute window or something like that. If everything goes right, you'll be 10 minutes early. If one thing goes wrong, you'll be on time. If two things go wrong, you got a great excuse. However, you know, as an early person who engages with late people on the regular, I got some actionable advice for you. The first one is, lie. If you want to be out of the house by 10:30, say we're leaving at 10:15. Get a verbal confirmation that you agree to that. And then they may feel betrayed, but when you leave at 10:30, have a smug smile on your face because you got yourselves, you know, situated properly. Now, I have a Discord message. Here's one second. Got a DM. Now, okay, Dan says I was recording. Now, I am wrecking. Will be done in like 30 min. So I give it up to you to determine how to proceed. I swear to God, he said next time I'll give a specific time. We always do 11. But also we've had this okay, not all caps are a little aggressive. But we've had this discussion like 10 times. And the last time we said just assume 11 unless otherwise indicated. Here's the thing. I know Daniel. Okay? Daniel is and he's a good person. He's quite a character. But he's it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission sort of guy. I've seen it in action. You gotta, I don't believe that Dan made an honest mistake with the timing. He could have. It's not fair for me to put him over the coals here. I think instead he thought, well, I'll record and I'll probably be done by 11, but if I'm not, I'll just tell him that, you know, I'm late, big whoop. I could be wrong. But that's the vibe I get, at least. That's my hunch. So I'm not trying to put him on blast. Merely all I'm saying is I want to hold him accountable. I want him to know that I know what he's doing. I don't want to let him off the hook so easily. So we probably will take Libra, but I want to see what's going on first. The thing is, if it's an honest mistake, it's almost that much more frustrating. Like, it's more comforting for me to believe that he you know, he just decided to record and hoped it wouldn't go late. Because we've talked about it 20 times before. So, you know, it's you're darned if you do, you're darned if you don't. Those are my 2 cents. But anyway, I'm going to stop leaking our Discord messages. I'm going to peep what he's saying real quick, though. Just what a character is all I can say. Oh well. All right, so we got a good thing going on here. We got we got a great thing going on here. No deal with the devil sucks, but we'll have like literally 100% chance, I think, for our next opportunity. If we lose our bone heart completely, that might compromise it, but we probably won't. We also have Pyromaniac, which I didn't even mention, but Pyromaniac is a fantastic, it's just very good, as I'm sure you don't need me to tell you. And unlike last run, we actually have bombs, so we can do something with it. I have more actionable advice, by the way, if you're an early person who deals with late people on the regular. I know it's frustrating, but like, is not necessarily your fault, but you have to take control of what you can in the situation. So what I would say is also learn to relax a little bit, you know? Learn to be more okay with lateness, because it is probably gonna happen, and you know, that all you can really do in that situation is control, you know, your stress. You can control your own, not control your own mental state. That's a little bit, you know, armchair psychiatrist, I guess. But you can take a deep breath and be like, okay, we're gonna be late, so what? You know, alright, maybe we're gonna miss the trailers. Maybe, you know, I'll tell you, I've missed the opening 10 minutes of a movie 5 or 6 times, you know? You get over it. Very, you're a smart individual if you're watching my content. Very, very rarely are you gonna be at a movie and be like, you know, I don't understand what's happening because I missed the first 5 minutes. Oh, you don't remember in the first 5 minutes when they Chekhov's gun you? But I will say, I don't want to, because I know late people, they take that as an enabling. Who cares if we miss a little bit of the movie? It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. But we also wouldn't have to miss any of the movie if you just started getting ready 5 minutes earlier. And if you were in the other room performing some kind of, you were uncoupling conjoined twins or something like that. It's a delicate, time-sensitive operation, I understand. But, you know, if you happen to be watching YouTube videos in the other room, then maybe that's not on the critical path. You can go, you can do that once we return. Or even, perhaps, en route. Anyway. I will always be the patron saint of the early people. I come by it honestly. My parents are very early people. Especially my mom. We were talking about it when she was here. You know, we'll do this thing. We'll be like, okay. The time, you know, our flight's at noon. And it's a 30-minute trip to the airport. And you gotta be there 2 hours early. So you gotta be there by 10. We have to leave by 9:30. And everybody agrees. You go, yep, 9:30. Okay, 9:30, I'll be ready to leave. Which actually means that I'll be ready to leave at like 9:15. Just in case something pops up. Oh. We're not free. But then, you know, 8:45 rolls around and my mom is like, are you good to go? You guys good to go? I'm like, Mom, that's not what we agreed upon. And I inherited a lot of that. I understand it's frustrating to deal with. Say, you know, the early people are not always innocent. Because, you know, it's to be constantly surrounded by time anxiety, I'm sure has to be annoying. You know what is frustrating, though? It's an episode that's an airing of grievances. This is not meant to... I think this is something that a lot of men can relate to. And I want to say, if you're watching this video, it's not fair. For most men, it's a bit of an antiquated belief, but, you know, most guys I know, at least, including myself, how do we get ready? You know, you take a shower, maybe you shave, you put on deodorant, cologne, you know? You're kind of good to go. It's not to say that, you know, there's not other work involved in being presentable, you know? But at the moment of release, that's pretty much it, you know? You might have other things, like the standards are different. Like when Kate gets ready, you know, she showers, she has hair, so she has to blow dry it. She's got to style her hair, pick the right outfit, put on makeup, etc., etc., etc. You know, it does take longer, on average, I would say, for women to get ready to go someplace than men. That being said, one thing that's a little bit frustrating, and all the guys out there say, hell yeah, if you know what I'm pretending to be a hack comedian. Pretending? But is when, like, you're ready, and then you're like, okay, we gotta go. And she's like, what do you mean you gotta go? You don't even have your shoes on yet. And you're like, oh, like, if it's like just because you weren't sitting at the door with your shoes on, you're actually the one that made us late, because, you know, you put your shoes on at 12:01 when we were supposed to leave at 11:30. How are you supposed to leave at 11:30 if you don't put your shoes on until 12:01? Anyway, it's getting too close to an airing of grievances. I'm just channeling a Key and Peele bit right now. Yo, we got real offensive potential here. I'm ready. Dank Depths 2, no problem. Much better run. Now, our damage is still low, but it's kind of like, you know, you gotta have context for everything, right? Our damage is too low, but our rate of fire is... I mean, let me put it this way. Our damage is 1 lower, roughly, than it was at the end of our last run. Our last run was a floor or 2 deeper. And then on top of that, also had roughly a quarter of our fire rate. Not quite a quarter, but like pretty close. I guess closer to a third. So we were shooting slightly bigger shots, or better shots, with 1/3 the frequency. That's horrible, dude. I say that not to, you know, fish for validation, but rather merely to say, you know, just to put it into context how bad that previous run was. This run, on the other hand, we're going to be fine. I hate this curse, man, because I have a very simple flowchart here. We're going to walk back. We're going to use 2 of diamonds so we get value out of it. And then we're going to continue to hold black rune, because it's actually, like, you know, is very useful for us. Don't do it, dude. Come on, man. This is getting ridiculous. Okay. Now that we have 3 keys, I feel compelled to go into this room. And I hate it. But that's okay. Joke's on me. And we're good. I wish, like, this is one of the rare times these days that I've recorded Isaac episodes to end a day, and then also Isaac episodes to start a day. It happened all the time back in the day. And, you know, there was a time, right when Rebirth came out, I was recording 4... Well, not recording. I was releasing 4 Isaac episodes a day. 4 Isaac episodes a day. That's absurd. You know how sometimes people, and you might be thinking the same thing right now. You're like, how does NL still find stuff to talk about when he's been playing the same game for 3,000 hours? I even think back, and I'm like, dude, in the winter of 2014, how did I find enough stuff to talk about for 4 Isaac episodes a day? I mean, it's a little different back then, to be honest, because, you know, a lot of the items I'd never seen before, and, like, most of the combinations of items, the real synergies, I'd never seen before, so worth a try there. So we actually talked about the game on occasion back then. We would be like, whoa, look at this, brimstone plus homing shots. Wow, that's wild. We're in a different era now, but okay, we definitely want PhD. Straight up, I'm going to get Jar of Flies, and then I am going to put Jar of Flies down and smelt it. That's, well, you know what I mean by smelt. And we possibly could have found a better opportunity for Black Rune, but I don't dislike that, you know, to try to get something. We paid 7 cents basically for a speed upgrade, which is a pretty okay deal, I think. Plus 7 cents plus the opportunity cost associated with losing the Black Rune. But I don't know what else we would have used it for, honestly. Could have walked into Boss Rush, I suppose. But, you know, the way my DPS is right now, I don't really want to do Boss Rush. Especially not for 4 random stat upgrades that could just be, you know, shot speed at the end of the day. almost got tagged. Now, I know we only have a 38% chance of a deal with the devil. All right, disregard. I was going to say I would really like to get it. Forget Me Now is kind of interesting. But honestly, after the runs we've had, I don't really want to give up on our defense item. Help. But what I was getting at earlier is, you know, it's dangerous to record an Isaac episode and then go to bed and then wake up and record an Isaac episode. Because, dude, I didn't have, there's no anecdotes to be had from last night. You know, we went out, played a little Pokemon Go, caught Armored Mewtwo. Go, if you want to look up Armored Mewtwo. Kate told me in advance, she was like, this Pokemon is ugly and you will hate it. And I was like, all Pokemon are my children and I hate all of them. So, like, what's the difference? Then when I caught it, I was like, oh, you were 100% right. This is hideous. It looks like Mewtwo joined, like, Slipknot. It's I don't know if there's lore reasons for Armored Mewtwo existing. But after I caught it, I was like, I'm glad I caught it. Because, I mean, come on. I need a high DPS Psychic in order to take out, you know, fighting-type Pokemon that are in gyms. But, I mean, everybody knows that. But also, you know, I didn't have a Mewtwo in advance. I previously had missed Mewtwo. And as a result, I was like, you know, I gotta get all these time-limited Pokemon, the pocket monsters, when they exist. Then when I caught that, I was like, oh, you're right, it sucks. I like the cute Pokemons. It is what it is, dude. Like, you know what's a cute Pokemon? You might not... I know people are always like, you know, Squirtle, Charizard, Butterfree. Dude, Rhyperior is a cute Pokemon. You know why that Pokemon is cute? Is because he's prepared. He's like a college student on a gap year backpacking through Europe. What's he got in those satchels, dude? What does Rhyperior need storage for? He got granola bars in there? Or are those just a part of his body? I don't understand. But I like a Pokemon that's prepared, because you know what? A failure to plan is a plan to fail, dude. Nah. Well, I mean, we'll use it once. We might as well use it once. But I mean, that's all I really got in that situation. I got nothing else. No anecdotes. What did I watch before bed last night? I don't know, some trash TV show about drugs. I'm still like... I'm becoming increasingly suspicious. Now, I don't want to say accusatory, because you know... I don't for certain... I don't have any proof of this. I have a hunch. And I remember what we talked about yesterday. And I live by... I especially would like to live by that philosophy. But I have this increasing suspicion that every single one of those shows is freaking fake. Because it just doesn't make sense to me. That they would be so readily able to find people that are supposedly making hundreds of thousands or more annually by doing an illicit narcotics trade. And yet are like, yeah, dude... I would love to be on camera for interviews. I get that the faces are, you know, they have bandanas on. But, like, I don't think you need sophisticated police work to be like, you know, those are his eyes. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Or maybe the people involved are, I don't want to say not that bright, but not necessarily thinking of the consequences involved. That's also potentiality, but, you know. It just strikes me as weird. But then again, you know, maybe it's, again, truth is stranger than fiction sometimes. You guys know the story of HBO's The Jinx? It's a true crime documentary. And I want to say, people assume all true crime documentaries are trash, just because there's so many of them. Most of them are actually extremely well done. Now, you know, if you've seen one, have you seen them all? You kind of get the idea. You know, they all kind of copy off of the DNA of the podcast Serial, and Them Making a Murderer was obviously like another huge one. But most of them are very intriguing. And very well done. But the Jinx is something truly special, because they interview. Sorry, it's not Robert Durst, is it? I might have the wrong guy on this one. The Jinx. Oh, it is Robert Durst. Okay, so Robert Durst is like he's a real estate heir, like a billionaire. And for a while, you know, he had been accused of murdering some people in his life that turned up dead in suspicious ways. I believe he was acquitted, or the trial was dismissed, or, you know, it's a semantic difference, but, you know, he was off scot-free, more or less. And then these filmmakers were making a movie called The Jinx. They were going to create a document on film, also known as a documentary, of, you know, the circumstances surrounding the case. They were doing their own kind of like armchair investigation, I suppose, which is, you know, I mean, it sounds reckless, but, you know, if you're just documenting what people say in interviews, maybe not reckless, you know, you can handle it in a tempered and considered fashion. And they got Robert Durst to agree to sit down and do some interviews. And then, you know, they start hitting them with some evidence that they've gotten from other people over the course of the miniseries. And he goes, "Hey guys, like, can I just go to the bathroom? I really got to take a bathroom break." When he goes to the bathroom, he forgets that he's got a hot mic on and goes like, "Well, why are you doing this?" And then he's like, "Well, because I killed all those people." And the filmmakers are just like, "Excuse me, you know, you get the idea." So I'm not suggesting that all criminals are stupid. I don't think that's probably a naive viewpoint propagated by those hidden camera television programs. They're like, "Look at this dummy, he walked into the glass door." But, you know, maybe there's, I guess, you know, if you're anxious in like Robert Durst's case, if you're scared that you're going to get found out, you think maybe by doing the interview you'll be able to, you know, control the message and the spin a little bit more and reduce the odds of you getting discovered. I don't know. I don't know if it's the same thing for Drugs Inc. I have to imagine, like, you're not getting paid that much to be on Drugs Inc. It can't be more than, at most, a few $1,000s. I know that seems like a lot of money, potentially, just for being interviewed, you know, in a TV show. But they also, like, they do ride-alongs with them, and, you know, these people, they say sometimes they're making, like, 25 grand a day, so I don't understand. You know, it seems very, very strange that you would, even if the odds of it jeopardizing your operation are minuscule and infinitesimal. Why? I'm not taking their side, or trying to give them actionable advice. Rather, I'm just like, I just don't get it. Like, it seems like the juice ain't worth the squeeze. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not going to use the world card here. It has been a pretty quick run, but our damage has been stuck at relatively low value for a while here. It's kind of a weak Brimstone run. I think, really, like, a lot of the inefficiencies in this run, you know, a lot of the problems have been plastered over by Book of Revelations. Oh, dude, fantastic. Have been plastered over by Book of Revelations and now Brimstone. Were it not for those items, and you know, Pyromaniac probably to an extent as well, we would maybe be in a similar position to the one we were in on our last run, which is a scary thought. You know, we've had not the best luck recently. I will. Just for interest's sake, see what we got going on here. This is way worse, also. We do have 9 lives. We have sad bombs. It's not, I want to be clear and fair. It isn't that I thought that we couldn't get a worse run. It wasn't like I was like, oh, this run sucks, finally, an opportunity to swap off of it. It was more, I was just like, you know, we're probably rolling like a 6 out of 10 run here. So what kind of person would I be? What kind of content creator would I be if I didn't roll the dice, you know? On a 6 out of 10, you want to protect that 6 out of 10 with the 0 streak? I don't think so, buddy. It's not the way I choose to live my life. So that's, you know, I'm mining deep for anecdotes. I ate Indian food for dinner last night. It was good. You know, where do you want me to go? I didn't lead a particularly interesting life last night. I will say we're having some cat behavioral, not problems. It's almost like my cats have become too cute. Tomo, he does this, he's a very shy boy, okay? But then at night when I get into bed, he like sprints into bed and he jumps up like near where my head is and he starts hitting me on the shoulder, just very gently going like tuck, tuck, tuck. And then he's doing it because he wants me to pet him. It's the cutest thing in the world. You're like, my son who is shy during the day, you know, he feels like it's a safe environment at night and he's like, pet me. I love you. But now, he started, you know, the way a cat brain works, it's a mysterious menagerie. You know what I mean? After he poops, he does it now, which is fine, you know? Like REM said, everybody poops. I'm not gonna be like, ooh, you know, you just pooped to get away from me. I don't care, he's a cat. You know, I love him. But the problem is, and those of you who own cats might be able to see where this is going. When do cats normally poop? I don't know if this is universally true, but ours poop most at night for sure. So now, right around 4 or 5 in the morning, every morning, he jumps up and starts meowing at me and hitting me on the shoulder, and I can hear the robo litter box going in the other room. And you know what? My sorry self, I pet him because I'm like, I have infinite patience to dispense love to my pets, but I am a little tired. I mean, I went back to sleep after that. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I will see you next time. See ya!